What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 69 of Value Town. I'm ChanManV, and these guys are looking bright and spry after probably playing almost 24 hours with the new cards. We've got Noxious, Firebat, and DeviousSkat on the show for the first time. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks. So,
Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay, there you go. Go.
Okay, well, for those of you who don't know DeviousKat, she's a moderator on Reddit. You can tell us a bit more about what you do there if you want.
Jump in right away, or?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sure,
let us know. What do you do there? Just
So
not exhaustive, but...
we moderate, and that means a lot of different things. Different subreddits have different rules, and we kind of just make them up. Makes a lot of people mad sometimes. I'm not wearing my SS patch today, but I am a known Nazi.
A known Nazi. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not going to get you any fans here, man.
No. The community basically runs itself, but we just try and squash the trolls and engage the community with fun, different discussion posts and.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely jump into more of it. We got a whole section dedicated to you telling us all the trials, tribulations, and maybe some joys of managing the subreddit. But we've got lots to talk about. The expansion is finally out. Just card opening craziness yesterday, and Crip with like 113k viewers, like somehow, like right from the get-go. That was kind of crazy. But lots of goodness, lots of people playing all kinds of decks. So I figured amongst us, we'd just talk about just how the day went, and then we would go into talking about some cards, which ones have been kind of surprising for you, which ones have been surprisingly good and surprisingly bad so far, and then maybe talk about some decks. We have a deck, or at least a website that somebody put together that has a lot of the popular streamers and what they've been playing, at least in the last 24 hours. So figured we just kind of take a look at them, just kind of start the discussion based on just the different classes from there. That guy worked really hard to put this web page together, so it's really, really cool. And then we'll, like I said, we'll talk about some Reddit stuff since we have DeviousKat on. We have Kat here for the first time. It's going to be awesome. This is the first time we've ever had anybody from Reddit on our show, like any of my shows. So this is really, really cool. And then we'll do some viewer Q&A with you guys, of course. I know last week we didn't get to any, so definitely we are going to get to your questions this week. So tweet those to, just tweet them to @ChanManV, or actually tweet them to any of us, but @ChanManV mostly. And then I'll be able to see them, and we'll get those out at the end of the show. Okay, guys, so expansion came out for everybody yesterday. When did you guys get a chance to, I guess, get into the client? It took me a while because it was so lagged out. Did you guys have any problems with it, Noxious?
I was on like really quickly. The issue was opening the card pack. I ended up buying way too many of them. Like, I don't know what happened.
Me too, dude.
I just kind of clicked the button of like 60 packs until I was tired of it. And then I looked, and I had like 700 packs, and I was like, "Well, that might be a bit over the top."
700 packs?
Something like that. I was like, dude. "Oh well, fuck it. I'm probably good." And I made Golden Rando and Ren, with the new list, so it ended up being probably not worth it, but
wow,
worth it.
That not worth it, but worth it. Yeah, wow, that's 700 packs. That's like 25,000 dust or something like that by the end of it, probably, or maybe more, 30,000 dust. That's pretty sick. How about you, Firebat?
Yeah, it was a lot, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't have like any problems at all. Like usually I have tons of problems trying to log in, but I was able to get right in and start playing. And then, I mean, my first 60 packs, the pre-ordered ones, got no legendaries and all of that.
60 and none? Holy crap, that's terrible.
Typical RNG, but
Pity time I lied.
So I had to buy more packs, and then got to grinding.
So do you have all the legends at this point, or are you still just kind of like playing with what you got type of thing?
I just play with whatever like legendaries I need, and if I need more, I'll buy more cards. Sure. It's like I got a tournament coming up in like 2 days, so I'm just
I know, right?
Preparing decks for that. So I grinded for like 26 hours, and then took a 2-hour nap, and now I'm here. So like,
nice.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what's going to be competitive and whatnot.
Well, definitely appreciate you, coming on the show with little sleep. But yeah, so forget card opening and anticipation when you got tournaments in 2 days. You just got to get them all, right? And Kat, how about you? How about you?
Oh, well, I got memed pretty hard. I did the pre-purchase, and I got a gold boogie monster.
Oh,
Nice.
Actually happened
Yes.
in real life.
No way.
Everyone thought I was making it up. I screen capped it. So I just did the
Oh,
pre-purchase, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Did it scare you though?
Yeah.
It's scary.
I haven't dusted it yet. Surprising. It's hard to, get rid of those golden legendaries.
Actually, it is.
I'm probably gonna buy a bunch more, but I didn't want to do it all at once like Noxious did because I know I'd go way, way overboard. So I'm gonna trickle my packs in.
Nice, definitely nice. Yeah, I think I got myself a boogie monster too in my openings, but I got 3 Muklas. Almost in a row too. That's like
That's
the
good
worst
potassium, man.
feeling. Yeah, that was that
Speaking
was
of
terrible.
legendaries in a row, my husband got a gold Deathwing that was pretty cool, and he
Yeah,
did the pre-purchase and got to about 10 packs left. I'm like, oh wow, great! You didn't get any duplicate legendaries. 6 packs to go, he gets a Deathwing. 3 packs to go, he gets a third Deathwing.
Oh my gosh. That's
That sounds
crazy.
really
Jinxed
awful.
It's awful and not awful at the same time.
Well, I mean,
you
Can't
know?
be mad at getting a legendary,
Yeah.
but
It's a
3
lot of dust.
Deathwings? I don't.
It is a lot of
I
dust,
got
yeah.
like 4 Malkoroks in a row or something.
Oh, really? That's the... Oh, I did get a Malkorak, yeah.
so-
I did get a Malkorak, too.
I don't even know that guy, like in the WoW lore. I expect to know the name of a guy I have in my legendary collection. I don't know a thing about him. Like, he is just
Is he not in the lore?
stranger to me.
He is in the lore, though, right?
I have no clue.
Malkorak,
Yeah.
he was a pretty
He-
tough
he must be,
boss in
but-
Siege of Orgrimmar. I rated
okay.
that expansion. He was
I did not
Rough
touch
on
it
Mythic.
with a 10-foot pole. But
God. Okay, so he is in the WoW meta. That's definitely consistent with what they're doing. But overall, yeah, I think I did decently. I usually do really terrible, which I did start doing terrible, and then I let my daughter open the rest of them, and she did great. So at this point, I pretty much have all the legends or all the cards I want to play with. So
I think there's a
good.
trick to having other people open your packs. I was watching Crip's super big stream, and he had Rania open about 20, and she got 2 legendaries.
oh man, that's pretty
that's
sick.
nothing. I opened 15
pretty
packs
sick.
earlier today because I was desperate and I found 3.
What? God,
Nice.
that's weak, man.
They were
That's
bad, but
Yeah.
you know, I think the paid packs give you more stuff. You know, I don't keep track, but
Oh,
I'm willing to bet that if I pay for my packs with real cash, I get more legendaries.
I think it's right.
I
mean,
think
like,
Oh
every time I buy packs
God.
with gold, they're garbage. Because like
Dude, I
save all my
I
gold
have
for
a
the
ton of
expansions.
tinfoil here. We can probably make a hat.
you know, to be honest, like the ones I bought too, on it, like even with my situation, were better than the ones that I bought because I had like 100 and almost 200 with gold in the initial like prepaid, I think, and I got like 4 legends or something in those 200 packs.
Yeah.
It was something terrible, and then my daughter opened another, I don't know, 60 or 100 packs, and then she got like 8 of them or something like that, or 7 of them. It was crazy. So yeah, I mean, maybe you guys got something there. maybe they totally laced the paid ones with like a better ratio. I'm always getting a ton
Not
of
a
epics.
big one, but
I always get a ton of
slightly better,
epics.
right?
Like
I think that if not the legendaries, then at least the epics, right? We can
Yeah.
agree on the epics being just better.
yeah.
Just that. Anyway,
Okay, well let's
we're having?
yeah, so let's talk about let's actually talk about some of the cards. I mean, so I guess what classes, or actually let's talk about the classes first. What classes did y'all play, I guess, first, or maybe spent the most time with? Firebat? I'll have you start off.
I spend the most time with like the obvious things because I'm trying to make like competitive decks for the
Right.
tournament I'm going to. So like first thing I looked at was Shaman because it's got so many good cards and
Yeah.
so many different things.
Yeah.
One of the cool combos I found in Shaman that's actually like insane is there's this card, I can't remember the name of it. It's a really obscure card. It costs 6 mana, but for every turn that's in your hand, it reduces
your
the
hand?
cost of the card by 1.
yeah,
The
the
Drake?
Nurugan Prophet.
The Drake or the Prophet?
Yeah,
Oh.
the Prophet.
Okay,
Prophet.
yeah, Prophet.
So then what happens is you get the either Evolve or Master of Evolution, and
Mm-hmm.
you wait until this card costs like 1, and then you play it, and then you Master of Evolution it. It turns into a random 7-drop because it's originally a 6 mana card.
Right.
So you get like Archmage Antonitis sometimes, or sometimes you get what's that card? The 4/2 that causes your opponent to be able to kill all your minions for free.
Yeah,
The acid
or acid
Acid Maw. Yeah,
Acid
yeah.
Maw,
Sometimes
that's
you get Acid Maw
great.
and just lose the game.
That's
But
great.
Yeah, the average is supposed to be like a 7/7, so you play a 4/5 and a 7/7. And you usually do this on like turn 4,
Right.
So it's pretty cool if you keep it like in your hand off the opening mulligan. So like most decks can't really come back from that unless they're face shaman. So it's like kind of a cool little shaman combo that's pretty powerful if you choose not to play face shaman, which is kind of absurd, but yeah.
Why would you not, right?
Yeah.
Dude, why would you not? Because there's a card called Evolve that's kind of cool if you,
Yeah.
Well,
you don't want to play.
You might as well
those.
just put it in aggro shaman after you recycle all your garbage into playables, right? You just kind of
Yeah.
put one evolve. You're like, I can't win this game. Okay, sure. Let me just roll the dice.
Okay.
It's just a really weird situation with shaman right now.
Yeah, Evolve's like actually like pretty good, but I don't know if it's like good enough. It might just be like a win more card, right? It's like every time I play Evolve, it's like if this is just some finisher card, I feel like I might be better off like any other different less RNG oriented finisher.
Yeah. I mean, the Evolve
I could see
cards,
that.
the Evolve cards for me, or at least the situations I've run into or played against, have been most effective whenever you have just a bunch of totems on the board. Like you have 2 totems, or you have very low attack minions on the board, and you just want to swap those over to at least 2 or 3 attack minions. That's kind of what they end up doing.
You haven't had the Doomsayer dilemma
No,
yet.
definitely not yet. I haven't had that happen yet.
All the totems are 1-drops, so if you upgrade a board of totems, odds are you eventually find a Doomsayer in like 10 or 15 games.
That's probably true. I just haven't run into
It's one
that
big
quite yet.
important match you probably lose in competitive play that you're like, I wish I hadn't done this ever.
Yeah.
It's just that one time you regret.
Yeah. Kat, have you played Shaman at all or no?
I was pretty excited because I popped a couple of those Shaman 4/5 cards. It's kind of like the Evolve in a minion.
Yeah,
and
Master
I'm-
Revolution.
I haven't played it yet. Yeah, that Master Revolution, and I'm hoping that it turns all my minions into gold
Yeah.
ones.
Oh, gold
Gold
ones.
Evolve.
Yeah, definitely.
I was pretty excited to see that card because they were basically playtesting it as Lady Nazjar in the League of Explorers adventure, her effect, and then they put that in the game as a card. So everyone's theory that they're like testing things and tavern brawls and such, I think it's pretty true.
Yeah, I absolutely think it's true. What class have you been playing then, Kat? Like, what's the first class you tried?
Mage. And
okay.
I got a couple Blade of Cthulhu. Yeah, I really like Blade of Cthulhu, and 9 mana seems almost overcosted, but I don't know.
Whoa,
8 and 9.
Blade of Cthulhu is rogue, right? Or
Yeah. Oh, I said Mage,
Okay, oh,
and
rogue,
then I
okay.
jumped right into Rogue because I got
Okay,
a lot of
cool.
great Rogue cards.
yeah,
And
rogue's good.
it's been crazy fun so far.
Yeah. No, Rogue's definitely been.
Yeah.
There's been all kinds of decks actually with Rogue. I've played against Mill. I've played against Death Rattle. I've played against Cthulhu. I've played against all kinds of stuff. How about you, Noxious? What have you been doing?
Pretty much, like, I started off with Ren Win Rin, like fun priest stuff,
Yeah,
and
that's-
then I
yeah.
realized, like, that was the first thing I wanted to try out, but then I realized quickly that, the game is even more about playing on curve than before, so it's even tougher to play anything fun. So it's like you just throw Chillin' Yetis that have abilities now into each other, and you hope it works. And usually, if you've got good support cards, which Priest hardly does right now, then you're pretty much screwed. So you just have to hope that you have the good support. And for the most part, I'd say Rogue was the most fun I've had. And I was running like a triple
Yeah.
Old God deck. I was running the deck with like Nazoth, and I was running like triple Old God for fun.
Yeah.
It was actually a great amount of fun because they can actually run Nazoth and everything but Cthulhu basically, and still everything but Ishar, sorry, and get away with it. Like
Yeah.
you'll win a decent portion of your low ranked games, but if you refine that deck, I'm sure you just get like a broken Rogue archetype. And
Okay.
I'm sure some of them exist already.
I never went to 3 Old Gods, but I played a double Old Gods with just Druid and like a ramp
Sure.
Druid type of thing with
Yeah.
Avion and stuff, just to do it. But 3, that's kind of
It's just greedy. That's all it is.
Hell yeah,
So
it's greedy, but it's fun, right? That's what it's about.
I've loved it at least.
Yeah, definitely. No, I've only gotten to so I started with Priest just because I ended with Priest, and so tried different things. Obviously, Dragon's super good. I just played 1 game of Dragon, and it's like literally about the same. I think maybe you add a Forbidden here, like that Forbidden just to fix whatever
Shape
curve
it,
that you don't have a curve with Dragon anyways, the Forbidden card. But that's still really good. And then I tried Control too, like with just the 2 mana. It's Control plus the Valen, potential for the Valen combo kind of thing. It's not a full out combo deck, but it's just kind of a little bit of both, and that's kind of interesting. That 4 or 5 card is really good. That 2 the 2 mana, the Embrace the Shadow with the 5 mana card that does 5 restore 5 health.
Does 5 damage.
Yeah, that's actually really good right now against a lot of the minions. So
it kills everything basically on the curve.
Yeah, definitely.
And toss like Flash Heal in there as well.
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah,
why not?
It's it's like 4 Flash Heals now, basically. It's kind of.
But I'm not sure like
cool.
it'd be competitively, like it's not the type of stuff that I would expect to be competitive. But like
Yeah.
one of the things that I've enjoyed is really just the amount of win big situations that we've run into. Right, like when you win, it seems right now you just kind of win by an overwhelming amount, as opposed to it being like a grind, unless you're probably playing Ram Druid versus Ramp. But I don't know. I just feel like for the most part, just full of big dudes. But their support cards are so good that it's hard not to snowball completely out of control. And the aggro decks also tend to do it even more now. So
yeah, no, I agree
Weird-
with you.
weird
It wasn't good, okay? like in the end, didn't end up being good. And then of course I tried that warrior deck that me and Firebat talked about a little bit, which was this arms super aggressive pirate deck that just didn't quite have enough on it to win consistently. So I was probably about 50-50 on that deck. But yeah, definitely a lot of fun starting off. Why don't we talk about, I guess, cards that we kind of stood out to you, and then we'll start talking about decks after. Any cards that are just, I guess, surprisingly good, surprisingly bad? Anybody?
I thought Darkshire Councilman was going to be a lot worse than it actually ended up being. It's
I thought it would be broken in Zoo.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good in Zoo. You can, for the most part, eventually, like in the late game, pyroblast people in the face with that guy.
Does it work? Like, because like the theory of it seems like it should work, but does it really work?
Yeah. Every time you
What?
pop a death rattle, it gets plus. So every time you play a minion, like any minion, it gets buffed. You summon any minions, it gets buffed. So summoning a minion counts as any of your death rattles activating, or when you use that the tentacles card that fills your whole board with tentacles for your mana. Yeah, so you can like trade a whole bunch, pop all your death rattles, buff its attack up through the roof, spawn a bunch of tentacles, and then hit them for like 11 or 12.
Yeah, let's for fellows that don't know what Darkshire Councilman does, it you get +1 attack for everything that you summon.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it ended up being. Like it's actually like pretty solid in Zoo builds.
Yeah,
I was expecting like that. The synergy that I saw right off the bat was the tentacle synergy, which is the very obvious one.
Yep.
Almost, it's like it's obviously the point of being boring, but the fact that you can't stop it at all is what makes it so good. Because you see the Darkshire is like 5 health.
Yeah,
that's frustrating. Hard. Like it's just annoying enough that you can't kill it, and then the guy drops any means of summoning, just everything he's got. It's just, I don't know. It feels like unstoppable. It's like a Frothing Berserker, right? It feels a bit like that.
Kind of like Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, it has that kind of element to it. That's for sure. And
I wonder if it could actually make Darkshire Councilman can actually make Summoning Portal good.
Summoning Portal? Oh, okay.
You're pushing it.
Card.
That would be interesting for some people to try. It doesn't scale like that fast, right? It's only +1. If it was like +2 or +3, it could be. I mean, +2 or +3 would be so
like
broken
the old school
with
man
tentacle.
addict. That would be
exactly.
So
It'd be crazy busted.
No.
Yeah.
I would never.
Yeah, okay. And on the topic of just like tentacles was also just like way better than I thought it was.
Really, I knew it was gonna be good. Just like filling the board with minions is awesome for Warlock. Jeez.
It's just like the flexibility of it being such like a late game finisher potential allows you to have a lower curve in your Zoo, since it can just kind of fill in the role of being a big card as well as being a pretty decent mid range card.
It's got that implosion. It fills that hole, that implosion left. I mean, obviously you can't remove something, but it enables those Sea Giants. It enables those, maybe Reliquaries or Gormox too, if you want those in your deck too. It's really good. It's a great replacement for it, if anything. It has more flexibility.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it might be
mean,
better. I'm like not sure if
Isn't
it's
it
better. Or
better?
worse.
Wow. Okay.
I think it is. I would say it's
close.
better. I would say it's better just because it's more flexible and there's like you can plan around it also better.
Yeah, but the
thing that
downside
I
is
like
like
about
not removing anything is really brutal for
Right.
Zoo because like if you lose the board, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to take it back in your Zoo deck anymore because Implosion's gone. So that's like the super big downside. But I think overall the card might be a little bit stronger. I'm not totally sure yet.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good. Zoo is never bad. There's always gonna be some kind of good Zoo deck, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Any other card, guys? You guys noticed or been pleasantly surprised by?
I'd love to toss that Possessed Villager in Zoo, but I think my favorite card has been Zeril. I just thought it was so unique, and it was a really hard boss fight in WoW, but you're never really mad at any of the toxins that you get. You know, when you got spare parts and GVG, sometimes, you know, you just held on to a totally useless one, but just about every single toxin he gives you is going to be okay or better.
Yeah, but I think did you expect? Because I expected that to be very good baseline, right?
I don't know. Like its stat line is
surprised?
so bad. I didn't think Rogue could like afford to lose the tempo of playing the card, and then
Interesting.
it like the spare parts you get off of it or poisons or whatever make up for that tempo loss of playing the 3/2, which is actually kind of surprising. I didn't think it would.
Firebat's like, this game is all about Yetis. I don't know how this 3/2 is making the cut.
yeah. It's very confusing.
It's way too small. How's that working out? Yeah, it's just a flexibility again, right? Kind of like tentacles. I like that. Those are the type of cards that I love the most, honestly. The ones that are not straightforward. Well, I mean, they're easy to understand, but they're not entirely straightforward, and there's some nuance to how you play them. Those are fun, but like with all that good stuff, we've also been given like a ton of really straightforward beatdown in this expansion, and it's dominating. It's just like that's just it.
4 mana 7/7.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
4 mana 7/7, 4 mana 4/10, 4 mana. There's like a lot of good 4 mana
You got a double
cards,
polymorph
man.
in Mage
It's
now.
like-
Like you got a double poly as a mandatory inclusion. Like otherwise you lose.
Yeah.
Spend an hour making a deck, queue into Shaman. 4 mana
Lose.
7/7. Well played.
Exactly.
The game's just done.
It's
Like
crazy.
Hunter's Mark. Well, I have to play something with it. That's not enough.
Better
Trox.
start running Flame Lance.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, it's better than BGH in that. But like now that you mention it, it actually would make because it kills the Araco on 6 for Druid. It would kill the 7/7 a turn afterwards. If you're
the thing
able
is,
to negate it.
If you put in all these tech cards to kill the 7/7, then your curve's worse, and then Aggro Shaman just plays on curve. and
Rolls
kills
over.
you. Yeah, it's like you can't put in like BGH because then it weighs down your hand too much, and you just die. Because then Tunnel Trog gets out of control because you're sitting there with BGH, and then you're done.
you know what's funny
man.
is that
I hate that.
well, you know
I
what's
hate
funny
that
is
so
that
much.
we've, you know, for the longest time complained about Overload for Shaman and how they just get shat on basically because of Overload, and it's such a theme for Shaman that they'll never become good because of it. And now they're adding the Sentinel and the Lava Shock, and now it's just like it's broken. It can be broken. It's crazy.
It's not the
good.
Sentinel and the Lava Shock. It's just like the quality of the Overload cards, right? Like Totem
That's what I mean.
Golem
Yeah.
is
That's what I mean.
insane
So
compared to most of the Overload cards. And then the 4 mana 7/7, compare that to like Earth Elemental, which is a 5 mana 7/8 taunt for 1 more mana and 1 extra Overload. It's like this is like so overstated, the 7/7 for the mana cost compared to the other Overload cards.
It's like damn.
Like I would have been fine with like a 4 mana 5/7. I'd be like, sure-ish. Like it's already pushing it. It feels pushing it, but
Yeah, I mean, is that even
I don't know.
a downside?
Yeah, exactly, right?
It might be an
even think it-
upside. Yeah, depending on how the
trolling?
metagame is looking. Because I mean, the 7/7. Yeah, of course. The thing is, like the 7/7 does not like the BGH weakness is less relevant because it's so hard to pull it on curve. It's so hard to kill that 4/7, like 7/7 when it comes down with the BGH.
Right.
So you end up delaying. So you're stalling with taunts, and then eventually you hope to whittle it down with damage from some kind of AOE that you pull off
And
3
then
turns
they
after.
evolve it.
And then they
And then
Then
that's what I hate, dude. I hate that.
Evolves and you're
I
screwed.
hate that.
Aren't
Good
you
lord.
aren't you ready to play some
Hateable.
Shaman, Cat? Aren't you just loving it at this? His talk. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like I said, I got
Seven
the full
Seven is
Master of
overrated.
Evolution. I'm ready for Shaman.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is kind of like the Fell Reaver play, but you don't lose 3 cards for every time. You don't run out. Your deck doesn't go to 0 after you play the Fell Reaver after a couple turns. So, yeah, I think this card is, it's. I don't want to say it's broken, but it's damn strong, and that deck was already super strong. So I just don't know, like, what was made to, or what we've seen so far that might even slow it down a bit. Like, is there anything that would make people not play aggro shaman right now?
I think the weapon is not as great as everyone thinks it is. The 4/2 summon an elemental for 5.
Yeah, but people play
yeah.
Doomhammer instead, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you don't play that. You play 2 Doomhammers. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
show
thought-
up stuff.
Yeah.
I thought they would nerf Doomhammer when they released that card. I was like, this
Yeah,
is a clear sign they're nerfing Doomhammer,
Mhm,
but
yeah.
apparently they said no, we're not. What?
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
Aggro Shaman's not consistent or strong enough. We really feel like instead of Crackle, we should just add a 7/7 in there. Because those Aggro Shaman players have it so rough out there. They really just need something more consistent, powerful.
God damn it, Blizzard.
Yeah, it's insane. Shaman's still insane, and the one negative to all this is that most of the tournaments you can only play one type of a class. You can only have one deck for a class, and that's a bummer, right? Because there's all these other awesome evolves and master evolutions and all those even that combo that you talked about. That is really great to see even as a spectator, and we're not going to see those. We're just going to see Aggro Shaman all day long.
We might see it because
Yeah.
if there's banned formats in the tournament, then Shaman's like the #1 class that everyone's going to bring, right?
Yeah.
So if you expect everyone to ban your Shaman except people that have a plan to try and 3-0 your Shaman, like God forbid if they figured it out. But then you have a mid-range Shaman instead of an aggro Shaman. So then that guy that wants to leave up your Shaman will ban something else, and then you just stomp him with the different kind of Shaman. Because mid-range Shaman isn't even bad. Shaman has like really good cards. And I mean, you can throw the 7/7 in mid-range, you can throw it in control, you can throw it in aggro. Like
In Malagos Shaman, you're just like,
Malagos
yeah, I'll sprinkle
Shaman.
this in.
Yeah, you can just sprinkle that guy in everywhere.
Why not?
He'll probably overperform. So
Yeah, there seems to be a couple of those type of cards in this expansion where it's just like, man, it's just hard not to play this card. This card's just good. Like, well, whatever kind of deck, just play it, But yeah, this one's definitely the one for Shaman. Kind of getting back to the Zeril thing that Kat mentioned, just the Zeril card. Have you guys gotten a chance to try Miracle at all? Like, I've been that was what I wanted to do with Zeril is or Zeril. Zeril is try a Miracle
Zaril?
deck.
I don't know.
Zeril, whatever. Zeril, right? Zeril?
You're rated, right? So you know the name better than I do.
Yeah. Actually, Kat would know best. Actually, it's Zeril.
Little flavor. That was a pretty tough 9 boss encounter. Zeril was one of 9 guys that all had different mechanics.
Oh my gosh, really? That's crazy.
It's pretty fun.
That sounds fun.
A nine boss raid. All right, that's pretty awesome.
No, just the one fight.
One
Oh,
fight.
one
bosses.
fight. Okay, one fight. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, I wanted to try Miracle with it, and haven't gotten a chance to just because the poisons I feel like would help quite a bit or be synergistic with Miracle.
I mean,
But
is Miracle fast enough though? Like you lose Flurry, how do you clear up a board? I tried putting it on paper, and I'm like, I basically have to play a tempo deck that plays Gadgetzan, not Miracle, because that's like very different.
I mean, Tomb Pillager is still just like absolutely nuts. I mean, like Dog was playing Miracle yesterday, he got to like I'm pretty sure top 50, maybe even top 25.
Yeah.
And like just Tomb Pillager being able to give you those coins to be able to play with Auctioneer and stuff allows you to just remove things so efficiently. And then what he was doing was just he had like Yogg Saron in there, just as like a stall basically. It's a stall / finisher. So yeah, you just slam down Yogg Saron, a lot of crap dies. You don't really have too many minions on the field because you're Miracle Rogue, right? You don't have very many minions in your deck in general. So then it cleans up the board, clears up, acts like a Blade Flurry basically, leaves a big body sometimes, and occasionally.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I saw him do it. Yeah, I saw him do it, and it killed everything, killed itself, sprinted, and then played Astral Communion. So just killed the entire board,
let's
drew his entire deck, then discarded his whole hand.
let's talk about Yogg Saron, all right? Because I played it I played it probably about 10 times. I watched other people play it. And okay, I want to hear everybody's verdict on whether this card is actually a finisher or not. Because
no, it's not a finisher. It's a
transition. Yeah, exactly. It's a transition card.
It's a transition card. Okay, but a lot of people are playing it as almost a finish. Like, what else do they have at the end? Like, what did? Oh, I guess Dog still had some burn right in his deck.
He had double Cold Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, he had some burn in the end of his deck. But
so he stealths a random thing, Cold Bloods it twice, and kills people.
Okay, so even
works, right?
Even transitional. Yeah. Go ahead, Kat.
Oh, I was going to say during that Frodan stream, they were able to play Yogg, and Frodan said, "Sometimes you got to go for the glory, not for the story." And so yesterday, front page, a brand Yogg video got really high up there, and not only was the first spell Ashla Comedian dumps his whole hand, but then it cycled through so many cards he filled his hand back up and started milling himself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a really good
that's
chance
what
to do that with
happens.
Yogg.
Yeah, that's
I've
what
been playing
happens
this
a lot.
card all day, basically, is all I've been doing. And it's like, at first I was like, yeah, there's no way this is ever going to work. And it turns out, like, it's used, like, you can't use it as a finisher in those very slow control decks, but it's going to just be there, just an extra threat. And when you dump it, it's basically a flame strike plus a sprint. All together with a lot of life taps that you put on yourself and some damage you deal to the opponent's face. It's just a complete mess. And sometimes you end up with a 1/3 weapon because why not? Like, it's just, nobody knows what's up. And the fact that it just buys you so much time and throws off your opponent and yourself is, I don't know, it's fun. Like, it's just fun. And it actually isn't too bad. I think on average, when you get like 10 plus spells, the results are mostly going to be, like, they're going to be relatively mild. They're going to clear up the board, draw you cards, maybe discard a few. But it's, like, there's not a crazy amount of cards that have very polarized effects like Communion. If there were more, then maybe.
Yeah.
There are a few spells, that can only target your enemy, so even though you might Frostbolt your own face, I think it is slightly weighted in favor of, you being up a little up on the outcome because, you can't betrayal your own guys.
Right. If he survives, I think it's already a plus. If he survives the onslaught, right?
Yeah, but
and you do end with maybe end with a 7/5 on the board if you don't polymorph your own Yogg.
That's right. I mean, there's like many ways for him to die.
It just makes like so much sense in Miracle Rogue though, because you don't have a board to begin with. Because if you do have a board, they're probably dead because you have like just gadgets and things that kill them in your deck.
Yeah.
So then like it doesn't hurt your board because your board doesn't exist. It draws you a bunch of cards because there's a lot of card draw cards in the game, which is what Miracle tries to do, and it clears the board a lot of the time. So it's like stall card draw. It's perfect for Miracle Rogue. Makes a lot of sense.
That's true. I was playing with Freeze Mage. Wait, go ahead.
Okay, Freeze Mage, same thing. Makes a lot of sense as well.
Freeze Mage, I was doing.
I don't know about that. You pop your own block, man. That's not good. It is never. No. I disagree. Maybe a stall.
You do sometimes.
But you die so much, man.
You do sometimes.
No, every time. Yeah, you're below 5 health. You're dead. Like you're dead. There is no chance. Even 10. I don't trust myself.
I popped it and then gotten it back and then I mean, you get a shitload of secrets though. Like, I don't know why. I've gotten a good number of secrets every time I've done it with Freeze Mage. Because, I mean, I get like 20 spells, you know what I mean? Like, by the time you're done with Kabbalah's Tome and what, like Kabbalah's Tome, getting Kabbalah's Tome, after you're done with that and just being greedy as hell, you get like 20 spells. And by that time I have like 5 secrets. So, yes, I've popped my Ice Block at least 4 times, I think, but I've gotten it back like 1 or 2 times, which is kind of interesting.
That's way above average.
Yeah,
way above average.
Yeah, of course it is.
It is unrealistically high above the average time. You'll just kill yourself with it, dude. I have tried so much. Okay. Freeze Mage is not. I don't like that shell for that card. I just hate it. Miracle Rogue I can see. But
well, you can't wait till the last minute. You can't wait till probably the last second to do it with Freeze Mage. But
Freeze Mage is just like so fast, right? Like as you get to turn 10, you want to be Alexing them. Like you've already drawn all of your burn. You've done all of your draw
true.
cycle anymore. So you just do your Freeze Mage thing and kill them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. Let's see, any other card that's been surprising? Okay, maybe let's just transition over to favorite card. So I'll start with my favorite card. So Fandral is by far my favorite card so far, at least. Well, I mean, not by far, but definitely my favorite card so far. Just playing the Druids, getting all those choose one cards, and I mean, I literally have probably done choose one or Fandral with almost every single one of those choose one cards, and it's like amazing. It just feels so good, even when you just get one. But a lot of times you'll get like two of them because that card is so hard to kill once it's innervated out. Have you guys gotten a chance to play with it at all?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, everyone expected that card to be really good.
Yeah, I know. But
it's really good.
It's 10-10.
Firebat's like no surprise.
A 10-10. It's not a surprise. It's just like favorite card so far. I mean, I love getting the 10-10 Ancient of Wars, and hell, even Raven Idol, man. Getting to choose a spell and a minion, and then I even had I ran that Feral. What's the one that gives you 8 armor or 4 attack?
Feral Rage.
Yeah, Feral Rage, dude. That card was even odd. That saved my ass like once or twice too. Like,
I don't even know why people dismiss that card at first.
So
I don't get it.
That card's been so fun, man. I just have an incredible time playing that. So yeah, definitely give that a try if the viewers haven't gotten a chance to play that. What's your favorite card so far, Kat? Was it Zeril or?
I think it's actually Journey Below, the museum curator.
Oh, yeah. I haven't
got many cool Death Rattle cards that you might not necessarily tech into your deck. But the Undercity Huckster, you guys were saying Tomb Pillager earlier. All those coins. I think it'd be a great fit in Miracle and just about any rogue deck. Raptor, can't really go wrong with it.
Yeah.
You get Zeril. Just the fact that you can get Zeril and Tomb Pillager from it is just way above anything Museum Curator could ever hope to achieve for Priest. Like, those two cards for Rogues are so core to the class that when I look at Priest and what they can get from Death Rattle, I'm like, I'm sorry. I apologize for the devs for sticking it up to you. Like, there's no way. I mean, it sucks so much when you're playing Priest Curator now. Like, it was okay. It was fine-ish before the rotation. Now it's a fucking disaster. Like, there's...
But hey guys,
it's just bad.
Didn't Reddit,
it feels bad.
Reddit said Rogue got shit on though, right? I mean, like that was like number one.
I don't know why.
Well, Blade Flurry's gone. It's the end of Rogue.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a new kind of Rogue.
I must have not been on Reddit.
I mean, what really carries Rogue so hard is just Tomb Pillager being so good.
Yeah.
Like, the card is like, now that there's Shredder out of the meta, that guy just shines now. That guy really puts in a lot of work.
Yeah, and if you can, synergize with like Miracle, whatever, with a coin too, it's just like disgustingly good. Have you guys gotten a chance to play the Death Rattle Rogue? I mean, the Huckster into Raptor's freaking great, man. Like they're drawing cards like mad, man. Rogue's never running out of cards now. It's so nice. Even tempo Death Rattle type of Rogues.
Yeah, and they have the 1 mana. Or the 4 mana 1/1 that Death Rattles into a 5/5. I think it is something like that.
Yeah. Not bad.
Shadowcaster, by the way. I would have to say, like, going back because we're on the topic of rogues and good cards that they have. Like, I think Shadowcaster was an unexpected MVP of a few games I've played so far. I thought
awesome.
The card at 5 mana would be like a fun card at best, but it turns out there's a few because a lot of people play slower. Not everyone. You'll find some slower matchups. Like, that's basically your ticket to victory against control decks. Like, you just hit a brand with that late game, and you've already won. Like, you just wait and sit on that until you get the perfect setup. It's kind of interesting, the way that the 5 and a 4/4 that loses you tempo can beat control decks, like, pretty well.
Yeah, it's not even that bad against aggro. Like, if you have anything stick, you pull back, like, SIs, use those defensively, and things like that, or get extra Ezra Drakes or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Disciple of Cthulhu.
The ability to use Battlecry is where that card was special compared to the Faceless cards or any of those other copy cards. So that was the thing that I was most excited about for Shadowcaster. It took me a while to get 2 of them. Actually, I know I had to buy 2 of them. Actually, I didn't get. No, I got 1 Shadowcaster. I had to buy a second one though, just or dust a second one.
Most people.
It's a gold one, and I actually don't have a regular one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. The people in like the top 10 rogue builds right now on ladder all are playing 1, so they're not playing 2.
Not playing 2.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I should have done that. That was that impulse buy again that Kat was talking about.
Click,
Don't
click.
do that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be like ahead to really get value off of it, right? You have to have something stick, like either an Earthen Ring, an SI, or whatever stick, and then you can pull it back to your hand.
Right. Let me show everybody what Shadowcaster is. But yeah, Rogue. I mean, Rogue looks pretty good. That was probably what I was going to play tonight. It was just a lot of Rogue, and yeah. I mean, when I play against them, they seem to be doing okay. Definitely okay. But Blade Flurry does. Blade Flurry does hurt pretty bad, right? Or it doesn't feel very good right now. Just having to spend that much mana, so it does kind of suck. But I think you still have to run it though.
You think we'll see more betrayal, cheaper removal? It doesn't really clear your whole board, but if
I think
people
Shadow
don't really
Strike,
remember how to
I
play
don't know.
around it anymore.
You can get away without Flurry now, right?
I don't know. What do you think, Firebat? You think you can get away without Flurry? I mean, Flurry? Shadow Strike is pretty good though.
Yeah, I mean, like, depends what you're facing up against, right? Right now, there isn't too many things that, like, spam the board too much besides, like, face decks that you're going to lose to anyway, so there's, like, no point attacking the Flurry. It's like, you face Aggro Shaman, you're Rogue, you're dead. Just move on to the next game most of the time. But, like, if you want to detect for those sort of matchups, Flurry could be a choice that you put in, but it's so slow, and I don't know. There's the backstab guy that does 2 damage to all undamaged minions of your opponent.
Skulker.
Like,
Skulker.
Yeah, like Skulker's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like Rogue kind of moved away from AoE a little bit. I always thought like Blade Flurry was still going to see play, like as like a one of or something in Rogue.
Yeah.
But doesn't seem like it is right now. I don't think it will if it's not doing it right now. I think it's like kind of just too slow for everything that's been going on. You'd rather just play the card we were just talking about, the Shadow Stalker or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Skulker. Yeah, the Dark Skulker.
No, the 4/4 guy.
Oh, the 4/4 guy. I mean, Shadowcaster.
It brings back.
Yeah, Shadowcaster. Like, you'd rather play Shadowcaster as like your slow card that helps you win against control than you would Blade Flurry. Like, I think it's the better one of alternative.
Okay.
So, like, because against control, now you pull back your cards and get extra value and have extra spells to kind of clear things out, get the extra card off. An Azure Drake, you pull back, Gadgets an Auctioneer, do something like that. But normally you'd have to, like, they'd play a bunch of taunts or something, and you'd have to Blade Flurry clear and push damage through to be able to win as Rogue. But now, instead, you just draw extra cards, or generate, I guess, kind of extra cards to be able to outvalue the control decks. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Huh, pretty cool. Definitely interesting. Favorite card for you, Firebat, so far?
Really? Yeah, ask that.
Oh wow, fiery! Is it the fiery bat? Are you that vain, dude?
I mean,
is it? Is it seriously your favorite card? Wow.
I mean, yeah.
All right, cool. Man, I guess when you're named after a card, it's kind of has to be, right?
Yeah.
The fiery bat. All right, talk about it. Why do you like it so much? Besides the namesake.
Besides the namesake. Oh, I haven't thought that far.
What?
I haven't been able to.
You self-centered fuck. No, this is good. I mean, it's just so good.
I mean, I haven't been able to make a 100 build that works like consistently yet. It's kind of a work in progress, but I would really like to play 100 at my upcoming tournament, so it's something I'm working on. So, I mean, right now, it's one of the best one-drops in the game, for sure. Like, just the ability to deal that much face damage.
Yeah.
And also trade up with things and clear. It's definitely, like, just screams, smork, and good. So, like...
It's pretty similar to
Leper Gnome, even after the nerf?
It's better than Leper Gnome now, but pre-nerf Leper Gnome... I think it's still better than, just because it's got the beast synergy and it has better clear potential. So I think it's just better than Leper Gnome, which is
Yeah. Activator.
Really? Just because of the beast probably has a lot.
It actually makes
the beast
sense.
Has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
they're
and
both
just
filling
the
the
board
same
control
role.
aspect.
Yep.
You just play both, dude. That's it. It's like easy.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you. There's some good cards you'd probably want to add over Leper Gnome. It's pretty close though, whether it's just to include it in the Smork deck or not. Have you tried building a mid-range deck at all for Hunter? I built a few of those. Yeah, I mean those.
Yeah, I played around a lot with it, and it's just like your early game curve is just way weaker than other decks.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
You got your 1-drop, and then your 2-drops are all either like 3/2s or Scavenging Hyena,
Huge
and then your
toad.
opponent. Yeah. Your 1-drops are all 2/1s. Everyone's playing 1/3s, and they follow them up with 3/4s. You follow them up with 3/2s, and you're dead. Like, it's just so hard to stop your opponent's snowball. And your comeback mechanisms in Hunter are like traps, which are really slow because Scientist is gone.
Those are
you don't have
much
Glaive
worse.
Zuka as a comeback mechanism anymore. So then you have to wait on like Unleash as a sort of comeback mechanism, which is crazy slow, especially when a 7/7's punching you in the face. So
well, what's crazy is we're starting to see Snipe used because of those strong just 2 drops and even 3 drops, right? So I think that's trying to make up for the fact that Hunter does have such a slow 1 and 2 mana start. I tried playing without a. Oh, what was that, Ken?
Oh, sorry. I think that has a lot to do with why they nerfed Hunter's Mark. They just knew that it would be so crucial right now. So 0 was a little too easy.
If Hunter's able to get like out of the early game, like holy smokes,
I know, it's crazy good. It
like
is.
you go like high main into Call of the Wild, people are dead. Like Call of the Wild is so crazy strong.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you have any kind of lead, it just snowballs right when you play it. And it's like guaranteed. Like you know exactly what's gonna happen. It's like, yes, I get a 5 charge and I get a taunt and I get a buff to whatever's on the board. Dude, this is awesome. So I mean, once they do get it on, it's good. And the Princess Huron's been okay for me. I wouldn't say it's been super great or not, but 6/5 at 5 at worst is not bad. It's like a decent option anyways. And sometimes I get this. I almost never get the wolves. Like, do you ever get the death rattle like Princess Huron into the 1/1s that come up? Yeah, I never get that. That never happens for me.
No, I feel like they're really trying to make Feign Death work. They're really sad that Feign Death didn't work, and Feign Death still doesn't work.
There's just not enough death rattles. It's like,
I could be wrong with.
I mean, they took away Creeper, so it's just kind of like there's not that many. So it's like you got Huge Toad, which has probably little to no impact at that point with that death rattle, and then
Toad is like a worse fiery bat.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, so it's hopefully we can figure out something. There's just no 2-drops right now. I tried both Hyena and Toad, and just like you, just falling behind really, really quickly.
Yeah, you fall behind so fast. There's so many beasts in the deck though. Like you now have like a beast on like literally every drop. So Houndmaster's always live. So if you ever get ahead, you snowball with Houndmaster. You can snowball with Ram Wrangler. You can snowball with Princess Haran on any of your Death Rattle guys. Yeah. You can snowball with Call of the Wild. It's like any lead. And every card in your deck suddenly just wins you the game. Like, but the problem is just getting to that point is so difficult out of the early game.
So the question is the grub any good? Because every time I'm playing Hunter, people are talking, grub, add the grub to your deck. And I'm just like, oh, come on, man. Really? And then I look over at some of these decks that we're about to look at, and I actually see grub in the deck. And I'm like, what? What is going on? So I think I might be just totally missing it. I guess it's just that setup, right? That carrying grub.
It's a huge card, though. It's massive, right? Like it's a 2/5. It's like you look at this. What's it called? The Blackwing Technician, right? Its strength isn't that it's a 3/5. Is that it has 5 health. When you're when it gets buffed by a dragon, right? Like in many spots.
Yeah.
So if you're like a hunter and you're able to curve into Houndmaster, I mean, grub to me was one of the playables for mid range.
Yeah, it's not bad. If you get it with a Houndmaster, it's insane. The decks that really excel with the grub are the decks that are, of course, running like double Huge Toad, double Firebat to try and set up the grub to be able to kill things. And then they also have like snipes in there and things like that to just try and like when your opponent plays the minion into your grub, it's already inflicted damage, then your grub can trade into it and finish it off and whatnot. So
makes sense.
I'm just really excited to see a vanilla minion actually be strong. It's kind of like the new Yeti. No stats, but everyone's still pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, a vanilla card that doesn't have any Cthulhu buff is like a rarity in this expansion. So, just generally, I guess vanilla. So that's true. That's definitely true. This is kind of like the turtles, like little brother, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Noxious, your favorite card, and then we'll move on to decks after this.
Oh my god!
I know you've played like a million of them.
There's too much stuff, man. Like I'll say Forbidden Shaping just because
really?
you can get away with it.
Okay.
I don't know. Like the thing is, like, it's not as fun as I wish it would have been, because you tend to just play it for value on turn 8.
Oh yeah, eight's a great mana cost. I mean, I think the value. You almost always get something amazing on 8.
Right. But the flexibility of it is cool. I mean, I guess Shadowcaster is also. Journey from Below would probably be my absolute favorite in the fact that it's actually competitive and fun at the same time. But that's because it gives you Xariel, which I think is also an amazing card. It's just like the whole rogue package that I love. It's not just the one card.
Yeah.
Poor Priest.
Yeah, definitely poor Priest. Anybody touch Paladin at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I went aggro with it.
of course you did.
Yeah,
Of course
yeah.
you went aggro with it.
I mean, the Selfless Hero is like a pretty solid card. So I mean,
Yeah, that's your
aggro
one.
package there. The weapon's not too bad either, but I don't know if the weapon's actually better than True Silver. I ended up switching out the new weapon, Rallying Call or whatever it is called,
Yeah.
for just like True Silvers. But I mean, still not sure which is better to go in there. Steward of Darkshire is really solid. You got Bilefin Tidehunter, not that bad for just having more things
really
to be able to
good.
buff up. I don't know if it's really good, but it's not that bad. And
It's
then
good in this deck, right? In that deck, it's good.
yeah, and then you got like Zealous Initiate's not terrible. Ended up cutting that though, but yeah, that's like a card that's like a maybe. I don't know. You just spam a bunch of 1/2 drops and Divine Favor, right? It's not a complicated deck.
Yeah. Anybody try Control with Ragnaros the Light Lord?
Yeah, I have. Forbidden Healing is basically the best card in Paladin. Like that's my conclusion for this entire set, and I assumed that was going to be the case, and it is.
Wow.
Forbidden Healing is the best card in the set for Paladin. There's no doubt. It was pretty obvious though when you looked at what the class would become.
Really? Wow, I didn't think it was obvious. Firebat or
What?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Cat,
I
you
don't know.
think it's
Maybe
the best?
everybody disagreed when we spoke of it last. No.
What cost would you say that it's actually value? Because I've seen someone, write out a chart of
Right.
cost per healing, and there's a lot of inefficient costs compared to other spells and a lot of really good costs. So it kind of fits right in the middle. Where do you play it at?
Well, I mean, like against Freeze Mage or against Aggro Shaman or North American Ladder, like you just wait until you wait until you're about to like stabilize the board. So you just caught up on the board, and let's say it's like turn 6, and then you play it and you heal a ton of health, and they can no longer burn you out. You win the game. Like it just allows you to stabilize at any life total, right? So like the big problem with Paladin's Lay on Hands spell is like you need to stabilize on exactly 8, and 8 is really late in the game to have to be healing to stabilize. Your opponent's still going to be trying to find their lava bursts or whatever kill commands to try and burn you out because you just recovered the board with like a quality consecrate or whatever. So then it's like kind of clunky, and it's predictable that you're going to be using Lay on Hands on that turn, so they know they can get away with things like going into that turn in their board developments. So then this card, they have no idea what turn you're going to specifically heal on, which is really good. And you can stabilize whenever, which is really important because when you're getting aggroed down, it's like a high pressure situation and you need flexibility where you can get it.
Yeah.
So
it's just, obviously you don't do anything tempo wise. That's why I was just like, I wasn't sure if this card was going to be good or not. You just have to spend your whole turn on doing it though.
Think of it that way, like to illustrate it. Imagine you could guarantee the healing wave wasn't gonna suck.
That's
like,
only
imagine
3
if you
mana,
could
though.
guarantee. No, sure,
That's
but like
only 3
imagine
mana,
imagine if I told you could pay 6 mana a shaman
and get
or like
14.
and get 14 health guaranteed, like as a certain thing. Would you play that? If your answer is yes, then in general that's kind of where I would look at this from, because healing wave and shaman was like, it looked good because there was a potential to get that 14. The problem is when you play that card in whatever deck you play it in, very often when you play it you need the 14, and if you're on turn 6 you end up like playing healing wave and then you have 3 empty mana spots that you don't know what the hell to do with because there's nothing else to do. So you would rather expend that mana into getting another 7 health instead of just doing a totem hit. So I think like Forbidden Healing is a successful healing spell, and that it basically makes like it makes you do whatever you want with it. And late game, I mean, if you have 2 of them and you haven't used them during the game against a control mirror match, like you usually get 2 free resets. Like you have a turn, the guy just aggroes you down.
Right.
You heal back for say 16.
It's plus really 6 or plus 8 health. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just
Sure.
overall, right? Just net health.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still flexible.
So what's the end? What's the finish for that type of paladin though? Like a control paladin?
Not dying.
Not dying.
Not
you just
dying.
exhaust them.
Okay.
It's attrition. I kid you not.
So are we gonna? So I was thinking about putting Adric in it, you know, and just going with like Light Lord and
Sure.
for some forbidden healing and things like that. Is that going to be something you think?
I mean, can it compete with Fatigue Warrior though? Like they could just even just Control Warrior, regular Control Warrior, you could just throw in Justicar. It's still so difficult to beat.
That's
and then
right. That's what I mean. I just don't know.
Priest has Entomb, so like the other control decks are going to be a problem, but it's probably going to be more efficient against a lot of the aggro decks. So
I just
depends what the
yeah, I just don't know how to finish. It's not like Cthulhu's not great.
You could play
Paladin.
N'Zoth in there, right? You could play N'Zoth.
Yeah,
Technically, like you bring back Tyrion,
guess.
maybe you pick up some other mid-game death rattle.
Oh
you
yeah,
sprinkle
actually,
in.
N'Zoth is probably the most most logical one.
I mean, it's not.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
great, but you could have Sylvanas, you could have Tyrion, you
But
could have
the problem with that sort of way is like if you're playing that build, you're not going to have any early game really because you're going to be kind of like healing and whatever. Your opponent's not going to be pressured into using their brawls or whatever, so they're going to have their brawls when you finally do get around to using the N'Zoth, and it can get kind of awkward. So that's why it's like not the greatest finisher against control. Like N'Zoth's just way better finisher against like mid-range decks that are just like kind of keeping up with you and you're just kind of staying on par with. Then you slam N'Zoth and then blow them out.
But if you want to get brawled, you want to get brawled on stuff that has death rattle, right?
Well, I was gonna say,
they may have just 2 brawls still in their hand though.
That's the problem.
Two of them would be terrible. Oh my god, yeah. That's true. That's true.
Brawl feels like too. Like I feel like Warrior is the class that has the biggest, like that lost the least, and it can just play its old control archetype tweaked a little bit, and it's probably just crapping on everyone right now. Like I can't see a world in which Warrior's not just playing double Brawl Elise. Now I can put Black Knight, Noxious Champion, Sarad. Just like put in all those very slow cards and roll with it. It's just so insane.
I haven't seen anybody play Elise yet. Like I tried Elise a little bit.
Dude,
in
it's the expansion. Like no one's gonna play that. Like everybody's playing the new cards.
I know, but you think eventually?
Warrior,
you think eventually people will start
I think
playing?
the classic Control Warrior is just retardedly good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that plus 10 health, that plus 10 armor is just. It's been like
that's Cthulhu,
wow.
right?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. The Cthulhu Warrior deck has been strong. I guess last comment about Cthulhu. What do you guys think of Cthulhu right now? Is it just right? Is it just kind of gimmicky, or is it too strong?
Well, I went through a wave of emotions with Cthulhu when I first started playing. Like originally, my thought was, "Wow, this is busted. They made this way too strong. I feel like every game is just whoever draws Cthulhu first." And then I was like, "Wow, Shaman is a 7/7. I'm dead." And then I was like, "All right, I guess Cthulhu's not that strong. It's a little bit too slow, maybe." And now I'm sort of like, "Yeah, Cthulhu's probably just okay. It's like not great. It's not bad. It fits pretty well in control decks to have some sort of finisher." But I think there's like better finishers than actually Cthulhu in most control decks. So I think it's like okay. I don't think it's exceptional.
Okay. Kat, any thoughts on Cthulhu? You played it at all?
I think it feels a little bit like any other combo deck. If you don't draw it, it feels really bad. But all of the minions that buff it, they're
not bad.
They're not
right?
bad in their own right. You know, little vanilla minions. I love that Panda card, deal 2 damage.
Oh, it's a great card.
2.
Yeah,
it's so fantastic.
Disciple.
This Disciple, Cthulhu Disciple. That's one of those cards where it's like